What's up, guys? How are you? Happy Friday. Welcome in to another episode of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name is Matt Peralt. You guys can follow me across all of my socials at Sports Talk Matt. And this podcast is being brought to you by our friends at DraftKings. All right, so we don't get these very often. And when we do, we will celebrate them. Last night was really good. There aren't too many nights where we go 6-0. And we nailed that game last night between the Packers and the Lions. Every bet placed, every bet cashed. Lions first half, good. Green Bay plus 3.5, good. From the live stream, Packers and the over, same game teaser, good. Jamison Williams, over 15.5 yards receiving, good. Jared Goff throw a pick at plus money, good. Cavs win and cover against the Nuggets, 6-0. Up 4.53 units on the day. We will take it. It goes into a very good spot for us in the NFL because we are now up over 11 units in the NFL in 2024, and we are up over 3 units in prop market betting in the NFL so far here in 2024. So we've had a very good run in the NFL. We've stayed very hot in the NFL over the last 3 weeks. We've been really, really good. We continue to stay hot here on a Thursday night with 5 bets, 5-0 on that game on Thursday night. So when I go 5-0 or 6-0, I don't like to come back and go heavy because the likelihood is I'm going to have a slowdown, right? Just the nature of the math of it, right? So I tend to go a little bit smaller, and I'm going to go a little bit smaller here today. I have one college football bet, I have one college basketball bet, and I have NBA player props for you guys coming up here today for the Daily Juice podcast. We have a huge card on Saturday, all right? So I'm going to go a little bit light on Friday because we're going to be really heavy on Saturday with the conference championship games. I don't know, 5-6 units or more in play for Saturday. Cannot wait to watch the college football playoffs, or not the playoffs, but that too, but the championship Saturdays games are going to be just epic and awesome. So it's the first time, I believe the stat is, it's the first time in like 15 years we've had every conference, I think it's 2006, that every conference championship game has a number under 7 for Saturday. It's pretty cool. So a lot of good games are expected on Saturday. So we will do that coming up here for Friday and for Saturday. But first, let's talk about our friends at DraftKings and the new Pick 6 DraftKings app that you can download. You sign up and play $5. You get $50 instantly in Pick 6 credits with the code JUICE at checkout. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available. Problem gambling? Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. 18 plus in most jurisdictions. Other age and eligibility restrictions may vary. Valid only in jurisdictions where DraftKings Pick 6 operates. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including but not limited to New York and California, Ontario. Void where prohibited. You're going to go to, for terms, pick6.draftkings.com/promos for more information. Okay, so let's get to the Mountain West Conference Championship game. UNLV up against Boise. Okay, some stats to pay attention to here. So what's wild is that everyone says it's hard to beat a team twice, right? Well, in reality, the numbers would tell you otherwise. Teams facing the same team for a second time in a conference championship game, the team that lost is 26-42 straight up in the rematch. Not good. However, against the number, it's 33-1. So the books adjust. These two teams played in Vegas. I was there. Vegas lost 2 games at home this year, 2 games overall. I was there for both of them. Every game that Vegas won, I was not at. I will not be at this game tonight. I will not be there for Boise hosting Vegas. Vegas hasn't beaten Boise since 1976. I was born in 1977. Vegas has lost 8 consecutive games to Boise State. If Vegas wins this game, Vegas is going to the college football playoffs as the 12 seed. Huh? Barry Odom in Vegas, their win total was 7.5. You guys reminded me that we bet over 7.5 wins. We went 3-0-1 on our future bets in college football this year. That's really good. We had UNLV over 7.5 wins. They may go to the playoffs. They're 10-2. They may be 11-2 going to the playoffs. Obviously, it's all about Ashton Genty, right? But Vegas did a really good job of stuffing him, stopping him when they played here. Now, they held him to about 125 yards, but he wasn't 250 with 3 touchdowns. He didn't run wild. Vegas has the better defense. The little dirty secret of this game is that Vegas's defense is better. Here's the question. Can the tackles and the offensive line for Vegas give Malik Williams enough time to find Ricky White and company down the field? That didn't happen in the first meeting. He threw a really bad pick inside the red zone, his own red zone, inside his own 20-yard line. It was a 7-yard drive. Vegas missed a field goal. Vegas had a chance in that game to shock the world. It didn't happen, but they had a shot. And I think Vegas is going to do a much better job of correcting themselves here. And they've gone on the road and won every game this year. They are 6-0 straight up on the road. Now, this is Boise, but they lost 29-25. Teams that lost the first matchup, in almost 70% of the time, they lose the second game by a smaller margin than they lost the first game. Vegas losing by 3 is a really big possibility here, like a really big possibility. Vegas has won at Houston, at Kansas, at Utah State, at Oregon State, at Hawaii, and at San Jose State. 6-0. Now, Boise is 6-0 at home, okay? Straight up. Don't think I'm completely forgetting about Boise State and what they have done. But they're 3-3 ATS at home. 4-2 ATS Vegas on the road, including a cover at San Jose State in their last road game in which they were laying 7.5 points, and they won by 11. I think this is a 3-point win for Boise State. For good measure, we get a 4-point win as well for Boise State. Vegas catching 5, +5. UNLV, +5 against Boise State. Absolutely sprinkle money line. Absolutely sprinkle money line. But we're going to take the points here. UNLV +5. 4.5 is good too, but we get 5 here in Vegas. +5 for UNLV against Boise State here tonight for 1.1 units. Let's see how many points Vegas can put up. My gut tells me the game's going to go under. It's a pretty big number at 58. I think the game goes under, but I'm not going to play it per se. I'm just going to go ahead and take Vegas +5 and say, if you want something extra, bet the under in the game as well. To college basketball on a Friday night. Illinois is at Northwestern. This number is 3.5. It opened up at 3. It's been bet up to 3.5. Northwestern at home is just 1-3-1 so far this year. Illinois is 1-1. But this game falls into my really not automatic play, but it's highly likely I bet a lot of these things. Illinois played against Alabama in Birmingham. It wasn't a true road game. It was a quasi-road game. They got curb stomped. Now, Northwestern is not Alabama, but this is the first true road game for Illinois this season. We have faded this a lot. I'm going to fade it again. According to Ken Palm, this is a 4-point win for Illinois. Number is 3.5. Can we get it to be 3, 2, 1? Northwestern is not a pushover, okay? They have the 38th ranked defense efficiency, adjusted efficiency in college basketball. They are not great in 3-point and 2-point defense, but not horrible either. 115th and 153rd in 2-point defense. Illinois is number 1 in effective field goal percentage, the number 24 in adjusted efficiency. 89th in offensive efficiency for Northwestern. They're not 191 in effective field goal percentage, but 160th in 3-point percentage. But this is going to be a rocking gym for Welsh Ryan, for Illinois to walk in there. And we know what Northwestern does with Chris Collins when it comes to home games. They have lost 3 games this year. They lost at Dayton, they lost on a neutral to Butler, and they lost on the road at Iowa. But at home, they beat UNLV on a neutral, I should say, 66-61. At home, they beat Pepperdine, Montana State, Illinois, Eastern Illinois, and Illinois Chicago. Not a murderer's row, Lehigh as well. But I like home dogs, and this number should be bigger. The number I just said, number should be bigger, right? Like I just gave you all those defensive stats. It's like, wait a minute. Why is this number not bigger? This number should be higher. Well, it's not. It's 4 or 3.5. It's a 4-point win, 74-70. I'll take the home dog. First true road game Friday night in Chicago for Chris Collins' team in Northwestern. Give me the points. Plus 3.5. Northwestern plus 3.5. Now, UNLV plus 5. Northwestern plus 3.5. I will put at least 2 NBA player props on the BettingPros app before the games tip off here on Friday night. There's a gigantic slate of NBA games. You'll get at least 2 player props out of me. If you want to bet the Celtics team total, that number is not out. Celtics first half team total at home against the Bucks, but be wary of it because Boston has not scored 58 points in a first half in the 2 games against the Bucks so far this year, or over 58. They scored 58 in one game and 53 in the other. Watch out for where that number is. If that number is anywhere over 58.5, I wouldn't play it. Okay. I think that's a little bit of a trap that the books are going to set here. But I think if you see it around 57, 56.5, 57.5, I think you're safe to play it. But I'd be a little bit wary just because the Bucks play slower. We'll see about the availability for Drew Holiday, former Buck, and the availability for Jason Tatum, who didn't play in their last game. So let's check on that just a little bit before you bet that first half team total for the Celtics. But at home, as I've said before, between 58 and 62, I think it's good to play it. Just blindly play it until, it's been hitting very consistently at home. Be a little careful of it tonight just because it's the Bucks and they haven't, and it's been sort of a loser so far for Boston against the Bucks. But that's a play if you want, but I'll put it on the app. Go download the BettingPros app and search at Sports Talk Matt, and you can see the player props I'll put up for the NBA later on today here for us on a Friday. Once again, the plays we're going UNLV plus 5, Northwestern plus 3.5 with the player props to come. My name is Matt Peralt. Follow me across all socials at Sports Talk Matt every morning. The Daily Juice Podcast presented by DraftKings.